panel. Now, below the Punch, it says tension, food prices raise as hunger protest begins today. And here we have the two kickers there, and it says, Presidency, NAS government begs protesters as Nigerians rush to stock foodstuffs. And below that we have police seize protest materials in FCT. Lagos CP insists on court order on rally routes. And still on the right-hand side, we have federal government withholds 4.9 billion naira Unity Schools meal subsidy, and we can find that on page 16. Below that, we have a Pabio Oshimolo Shaibu to lead APC campaign in Edo. And below that, we have reps direct NMPC to suspend crude for loan deal. And yes, you can find that on page 12. And guard two others held for justice, Ajemo Gobia's daughter's murder. And you can find that on page 4 and 5. And imported vaccines lingers as cholera case hit 4,809. That's a lot, and you can find that on page 7. All right, so
Of the Punch.
Of the Punch, and the next is the Daily Sun.
All right, let's take you straight away now, everyone, to the Daily Sun newspaper to see big stories for you right there. First, here it says mass protests, security forces locked down Abuja, Lagos, others, of course, as expected. All right, but that's not all. I just sent the name master of the Daily Sun, pandemonium in Owerri as gunmen launch attack. So I think that 2 days ago, the governor just inaugurated the traditional Southern Traditional Ruler Council in Owerri, the state capital. Now, government have launched attacks. But again, if we follow the news in the last 2-3 years, we realize that it's not new. Even though we hear the governor is making all efforts to ensure that this is nipped in the bud as quickly as possible.
Very true.
But it has been quite challenging for not just Imo State, but the entire Southeast, all 5 states in the Southeast. But we hope we find a way to run circles around these challenges as quickly as possible. But let's return to the papers now, still on the Daily Sun newspaper for you this morning. Let's see the other headlines. Of course, the one I just sent, the nameplate says, gunmen launch pandemonium. Where as gunmen launch attack. Okay, but we take it down to the big one. Mass protests, security forces lock down Abuja, Lagos, others. What are the riders? Residents panic, stockpile foodstuff. SG in panic mode, says bandits on proud to hijack demonstration. Court restricts action in Abuja, Ogun. Reps Sanwo-Olu last-minute moves to avert protests. All right, what more do we have? We also have one here that says, Senate expands CBN loan mandate to FG. 2 riders there. House in rowdy session approves 10% advances to government. Opposition lawmakers stage walkout. Of course, we saw that happen yesterday. It was quite chaotic, but what can we do? Now, Fund disburses 1.17 billion naira loans to 20,000 students. All right, we have that also on the Daily Sun. Still on the Daily Sun, what more can we find this morning? Let's bring you a few other headlines from there. 1 year, not long enough for Tinubu's policies to yield desired results. That's coming from the Senate, all right? You take it a little lower than that. Enugu PDP accuses APC LP of plotting to cause arrests. Tinubu, Umba, Piman, AGN, others, Mon Oyeka, Uwenu, Consular Services, U.S. Embassy, Consulate, Change Visa Services, provider. All right, those are the stories, the headlines for you from the Daily Sun today. Do well to read up details for yourself as we move on to the Daily Times.
And the Daily Times, and it says here above that inscription, the Daily Times says, airstrikes destroyed over 70 illegal refineries in last 3 months, and that's CASA. You can see that on page 6. Protests respond promptly to Nigerians' demands, Catholic Bishop urged Tinubu, and you can see that on page 2. NDDC commands channelization of block creeks in Bayelsa and rivers. NAS increases federal government's borrowing limit in ways and means to 10%. Now, below the caption of the Daily Times, we have, and that is boldly written, it says, why we are worried about protests, and that's the federal government expressing why they're worried, and you have to, and he has two writers there, beg protest organizers, others to give government more time to put in place reforms aimed at economic revival. Now, the second writer says, give government more time, Senate urges protesters. And it says, hashtag end bad governance protest, court restrict protesters in Abuja, Ogun, and Kwara. And below the Daily Times, we have contention scheme of service. ASWA puts proposed strike on hold. And that is it on the Daily Times. Go out and get more feeds for your news information.
Right. Okay, let's bring you our next paper now, everyone.
The Vanguard.
The Vanguard newspaper. All right. Let's see what the Vanguard has got for us real quick today. A big one on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Protesters urged to leave room for dialogue as police deploy assets. All right. You can find the writers, quite a number of them. Leave room for dialogue, reduce protest to 1 to 3 days. Degboruwa cancels. Of course, he was the one that wrote to the IG a few days ago to ask for protection for protesters. Right? Falana emphasizes rights of citizens to protest. Court restricts Abuja protesters to MKO Abiola Stadium. Police conducts a show of force, assure Nigerians of safety. Recover explosive device dropped at Customs Federal Operations Unit wall. Sean calls for anti-hunger protests. SGF tells Nigerians. We firmly support citizens' rights to protests, assembly, right, to peaceful assembly, protest. That's Action Aid. They're speaking. All right. What's more? Windfall levy. Bankers meet Tinubu for clarifications. Boko Haram's suicide attack kills 19, injures dozens in Borno village. Opposition reps walk out of plenary over bill to raise ways and means. Okay, on sports, Team Nigeria in disarray. You can also read that up on page 21 of today's issue of the Vanguard newspaper. We take it up a notch higher now to some headlines immediately above the nameplate. From the left, it says, we can't pay 70,000 naira minimum wage, Gombe governor. What's your reason? Well, you can find out details on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper today. Murder of Ajimogobia's daughter, 3 domestic staff arrested. Oyeka Wenu passing, our mom's last moments by sons. Tinubu wife Obi Okonji, and who else? Musawa Mourn. All of those details await you on page 7 if you pick up a copy of today's Vanguard newspaper. Let's move on to our next paper now, quickly, everyone.
And funny enough, that is all on the newspaper review. That is all we have for you. Go out and get your daily newspapers to get more informed when it comes to the news making rounds. And that's a wrap on the
all right, we're taking
review.
a quick break on the program, everyone. When we return, it will be time to put our conversations on the road. Remember, we'll tell you as to, we just bring it up to speed as to certain things you can do if you're protesting this morning, if you're part of the demonstration, to keep safe so you don't overstep your bounds with regards to the limits of your own rights as enshrined in Nigeria's constitution. We're back shortly, everyone. Do stay with us.
Global television is people's television. It's for the people. They focus on the content of deliverables.
Global Television, channel 365 on your DSTV, the station to watch for your news and current affairs. Hey!
This is Global Television, channel 365 on DSTV, the station to watch for your news and current affairs. This is Global Television, channel 365 on DSTV, a station to watch for current affairs and other societal news. Keep watching live.
Watching Global TV on DSTV channel 365, where don't touch it now, just watch.
This is Global TV. Keep watching on channel 365 on DSTV station and listening to the latest updates. Yay!
This is Global Television on DSTV, channel 365. Keep watching. Yay!
Abuja Rail Mass Transit is a regional rail transport system in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. It is a second rapid transit system in West Africa. The first phase of the project connects the city center to Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, stopping at the Abuja-Kaduna Railway Station in Ido, with more than 2,000 passengers boarding per day. The Abuja Metro Station project, which has been idle for years, was commissioned in 2018 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, and on May 29, 2024, President Bola Tinubu flagged it off for commercial operations. According to the design of the rail, the project is to cover a total distance of 200